Right. Are we good? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Do I need turning up? Do I need turning down? You guys are basically my sound engineers and my video engineers. My production team on the ground. Oh, I think we're live. How is everyone? Good afternoon. Spurs are back in action tonight. There is no better way than to get over the result on Sunday than going out and beating Coventry tonight and just kind of putting everything to bed a little bit, and we can all just calm down, right? Big game for Spurs tonight. In this video or in this live stream, we're going to be sort of talking about what my team would be for the Coventry game, which you can see on the screen here. I tweeted it out just before I came on, so I can go through some of your guys' reactions to it as well, which we'll do. I also want to talk about, again, this isn't going to be like a particularly in-depth preview for the game. It's kind of just what my starting 11 would be. I can't claim to have watched Coventry this season, to be honest. I'm going to go through how they might set up, briefly. Obviously, you can see I haven't really got any of the player names there, but I just want to talk about what I think we should do and what I think Ange will probably do. I also want to go mainly through Ange's press conference yesterday, his very defiant press conference, in which he kind of really, again, continued to say, I am the guy, believe in me, I'm going to win things for Tottenham, it's what I do. And he bit back and he bounced back, and I love to see that strength of character from Ange. So we're going to do that. Make sure to apologies if you can hear the dog barking. Of course, he only just started doing it while I was about to record. Make sure to go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to go and follow me on TikTok. This is my second account, which I'm trying to build up at the moment, which has got mainly Tottenham content on there, to be honest. This is kind of a Spurs page for me, and then I've got my main account as well here, which make sure you go and follow. And of course, go and follow the Twitter page as well. Thank you all very much for all your support recently. Apparently my volume's a little bit low. Is that a little bit better? I've turned up. Volume is low. Hopefully that should be good now. Just needed a little bump. A little bit of bumping. Ruben Rodriguez, I'm good. Let's just say hello to everyone in the chat. Warren, how you doing, mate? Yash, how you doing? Matt Drayton, how you doing? Proper Tottenham fans don't abuse the manager and players. We'll come on to that. I want to talk about Brennan Johnson a little bit in detail because obviously I've got him in my team. Actually, I just realised you can't really see the full team there. Let me just bring that down. There we go. Now you can see the full team. So that's my team for tonight. A bump. I think this should be good now. Is the audio, is that a little bit better? Is that a little bit louder for you guys? Hopefully that's all good. Let me just move my camera over as well, so it's actually in line with my mic. Two Sides of the Pitch podcast. Big up, mate. How you doing? How you doing, pal? Hopefully that volume is a little bit better for you. We go again, Yash. Indeed, we do go again. So this is the team that I think we should start with tonight. I want to go through some of your responses to that in the comments in a minute, and we'll go back to the tactics board and explain why I want to do that. I've gone for Vicario in goal, Spence, Dragusin, Davis, Doggy, Gray, Bergvall, Maddison, Johnson, Solanke, and Wilson Odobert. Some of the comments here. Ear Candy, I like it a lot, but I think we'll probably either see Romero or Van der Ven in there somewhere. Super Spurs has said too many changes to the back four, but the rest is fine. Jack Smith, Van der Ven for Davis, and I agree. Coy's Honey Badger says some people will call this lineup too weak, but I honestly think a lot of these players have points to prove, and this should definitely be enough to get a result. I agree with that. Stefan says only change I would make is Sarr for Madders. Same with Luke here, exactly the same. Hazard says he'd like to see Sarr start. Wouldn't be upset with the lineup at all. Think he'll start Kulu instead of Maddison. James says this was 10 of the 11 what I said the other day. Maddison can help Gray and Lucas a lot in that midfield. This is perfect, someone says. And Macaulay says, now I'm sorry, shout out Macaulay, you're always in the Football Manager streams, which probably will come back tomorrow, lads. Probably will come back tomorrow. Now I'm sorry, Ben, but with how leaky the defence is, I'll put Van der Ven in for Davis, Spence on the left, Gray on the right, have Bentancur in the sixth with Kulu instead of Madders. Totally fair enough. So let's go through it then. Gulab says that defence is going to get cooked if Davis is playing. Zigzag says you sure Gray is ready to play in the six. Okay, audio is good. Okay, sweet. Right, so let's go to the board then. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. This is what I want to see, and the reason why I want to see certain players in this game is because, like someone said in that tweet, in the response to my initial tweet, was that there are a lot of players with points to prove. Ange said it himself. Ange said prior to the game, that he will make a number of changes to his team selection for Tottenham's Carabao Cup third round tie away to Coventry. Not just the younger players, but other players in the squad. We need to give them game time. Not just game time, but the opportunity to show that they can be a part of this and push some of the guys who started against Arsenal in terms of playing, because ultimately that's what we need. We need a competitive squad. We need competition for places, and Wednesday night is a good opportunity to do that. I think some Spurs fans are coming into this game with a little bit of PTSD from the Fulham game last year. I was at that game last season. I won't be at Coventry tonight. I'll be watching the game at home, and you if you want to kind of get an instant match reaction from me, head over to my TikTok page. I'm going to be doing a match reaction on my main account and then probably do player ratings on this one as well. So make sure you go and follow those. And there'll be a video out tomorrow on YouTube. We'll do a stream where we break down the game itself. So make sure to stick around for that tomorrow, probably around lunchtime, this sort of time. But I think Ange's got to find a balance tonight. I think that there are players who are first teamers that should still be playing. I'd still start Vicario in goal, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure how much he trusts the backup options that we've got in goal. Fraser Forster again last year was a big reason why we went out of that Carabao Cup game against Fulham in the penalty shootout. Love Fraser, but I think Vicario, you need to instill a bit of confidence back into him as well. Dragusin deserves game time, absolutely. I hear what people are saying about the defence, and please do let me know in the chat what you're saying. I just think that they want to wrap. Bearing in mind, we failed to sign a backup centre back to play on that left hand side behind Van der Ven. I think they will try and wrap Van der Ven up in cotton wool as much as possible. And I think this is a good opportunity to do that. I would probably still go with one of the main centre backs. But I think this is what he might do. And I don't mind if he goes with Ben Davies. I trust Ben Davies in this game. But if it was Romero, I'd probably rather it be Romero. I'd like to see Dragusin and Van der Ven play together at some point. I think we'll get that in the Europa League. But I think with Van der Ven coming off the back of the injury, is it worth the risk? Potentially not. But if he does do that, I won't be unhappy. Max says play Reguilon, rest the doggy. He's got a load of games coming. He does, but also I think the fact that he's got a load of games coming means that I think he should play tonight, because he didn't play. You got to remember, a doggy didn't play in pre-season at all, except for the second half of the game against Bayern Munich. Max has again said a doggy needs a rest. I think he needs games. I think it doesn't have to be 90 minutes tonight. It doesn't have to be 90 minutes. You could maybe start Van der Ven and put Davis on the bench and then bring Davis on for a doggy. But I think he needs to get back into that rhythm. I think he was quite good against Arsenal, a doggy, to be fair. But I think in the first 3 games of the season, he wasn't quite at the level that we maybe thought he'd come back with. But again, a long time out injured, a doggy. And a long rehab process where he didn't really have a pre-season. So I'm happy to... I would play Destiny Doggy tonight, personally, just to continue getting those minutes into the legs. Reguilon is an interesting one because obviously he was named in the Premier League squad, but I can't see him being involved tonight. So I would personally go with Destiny Doggy. Midfield, I think, largely picks itself. I think, again, he might go with Bentancur because, he's not really going to get many opportunities to use him after tonight. Spurs, I think, have until tomorrow to respond to the charges, or Bentancur has till tomorrow to respond to the charges that have been laid at him by the FA. Yash has just said there, Paul has said Reguilon isn't training with the squad. I think he was named in the Premier League squad because it's like, well, you might as well. But I don't think he's going to be featuring at all. But yeah, he might go with Bentancur tonight. I've got the subs on the bench at the top here, which you can see. He might do something like this. He might go with Bentancur. He might play Spence at left back. He might take a doggy out, and he might go with Gray and play him there. And play Bentancur in the middle. He could potentially do that. Again, I wouldn't be mad at that. I would be inclined to play Spence in his preferred position, personally, given the limited game time that he is actually going to have. I think Archie Gray, whatever happens, I think he should definitely start. I think there's a reason why these players are at the club. Archie Gray is good enough. It's Championship opposition. He was the best young player in the league in the Championship last season. I think he should definitely play. He needs minutes in the legs, just like Lucas Bergvall. I think Lucas Bergvall probably should have come on Sunday. I think he could have made a difference potentially instead of Timo Werner and shuffled things out. Ruben Rodriguez says, space out the subs, please. Can't tell their names apart. Sorry, mate. I will do that for you now. I did the numbers just so you could hopefully tell, but I will do that for you 100%. Pat Matasar potentially, obviously didn't start at the weekend. Could be one that comes in. I'm just going to change Kulusevski to Kulu. Otherwise, it'll be really hard to space out the names. So it might go with Sarr. in midfield. I would just quite like to see. I would like to see a dynamic midfield dynamic of Gray and Bergvall. I'd quite like to see that. We're going to have a lot of the ball, hopefully again tonight. And I'd like to see Gray get involved in the game in that number 6 position. Bergvall slightly ahead of him, and then Maddison. Maddison is one that I'm still really expecting more of in the Spurs shirt. Tonight, again, is a game for you. He'd be the captain tonight as well if Sonny and Romero weren't playing. Go and lead by example. Go and be the man that wins this game for Tottenham. It's a championship side, and this is no disrespect to Coventry. Coventry should be feared. Look, they've not started the league in the best way. They are currently 14th, 5 points from 5 games, quite similar to us. We're 4 from 4. A 1-1 draw against Watford in their last game. Typically line up in a 4-2-3-1. Ellis Sims at the top of it. Just a quick kind of overview of them. But go and dominate this game. Go and get on the ball. Also, the reason why I want Maddison to play is because I think Solanke should play as well. I think these two should play 100%. Solanke, again, we haven't really got any other option when it comes to striker positions. Will Lancashire is still injured. And Richarlison is also still injured. So it will be Solanke unless he goes with Son through the middle. But I think he'll give Solanke another opportunity to get his first goal in the Spurs shirt. I was encouraged by Solanke's performance. I did a breakdown of the Arsenal game on stream on Monday. Make sure you go and watch that. Actually, I didn't do it as a stream. I just recorded it for you guys. Just because I'm a bit tight for time. But I spoke about Solanke's performance there. I think tonight is a really good opportunity. If I just get rid of these. Oh, I got rid of Solanke. Didn't mean to do that. I think tonight is a really good opportunity to continue to forge the relationship between these two. Solanke and Maddison. Your number 10 and your number 9. That's what I want to see tonight. Because Spurs have got a lot of creativity in this team, right? A lot of players that can service Dominic Solanke with crosses, with balls through the lines, into the channels, etc. But your number 10, James Maddison, is going to be the main creative output in terms of providing chances for Dominic Solanke. It's a good opportunity for Solanke to get off the mark tonight, continue to get fitness back into the legs after missing a couple of games prior to Arsenal. And I think building up this relationship is going to be key. Dane Kulusevski at the moment is our best attacker. I think he's been our best attacker so far this season. And I've got no doubts about Dominic Solanke whatsoever. Those two are the players that I feel most confident about, Kulu and Solanke. But we don't need to see anything else from Kulusevski. He's playing in this flow state of confidence. Bring him off the bench. If you need him, you can bring him off the bench. You know, he's got proven quality and would change the game for Spurs if he came off it. I want to see this relationship being built up tonight. Maddison and Solanke. I want to see that continue to build between those two. So I'd go for them. Wilson Odegaard to start on the left. I think it's his preferred side. Again, good opportunity against opposition that he's familiar against in terms of quality. Obviously, he was playing in the Premier League obviously last season. So he's a level above that. But again, an opportunity for him to go and prove himself. And for Brennan Johnson, I want to talk about Brennan Johnson because he's been getting pelters, obviously, to the point where he has had to deactivate his Instagram account. And I want to talk about Ange's quotes. There's a good opportunity, I think, to move on to the press conference yesterday. This is the team that I go with. You guys let me know in the comments. The reason that I would start Johnson is, again, like I've said with some of the other players, he needs that confidence. He needs that confidence to be instilled in him. Ange Postecoglou came out and was incredibly obviously defensive of Brennan Johnson yesterday, which is great to see because the abuse that Johnson has been getting is quite frankly crazy. Look, Brennan Johnson at the moment is not playing at the required level to start for Spurs. He's not. He's not showing us what we need. He's not showing us enough, right? But that confidence will be built up over time. That confidence will continue to be built up over time. He's still a young player with a lot of potential. We're not seeing what we need from him right now. And Ange has addressed that. If you guys haven't seen what Ange said about him yesterday, he said, you're talking about a young guy who's probably lacking a bit of confidence at the moment. Things haven't gone his way, but he comes here every day. He's working his backside off. He's asking for feedback. He's doing everything right. He's trying so hard to become the player he wants to be, and it's hurting him a lot. It's not like he's out in the town, and he doesn't care. He rolls up late. So what's his crime? His crime is that he isn't performing at the level that people expect of him. As a professional footballer, you've got to expect that you're going to get criticism about that. That's part of your growth. He's still a young player, and I think there's so much more of Brennan that we're going to bring in out of him. It's sad for me that we've kind of normalised that stuff, that getting abuse, and it is abuse, and a lot of it is personal, is, oh, well, that's a part of the territory. I don't see that. I think that is such a brilliant defence of a young player who is clearly struggling right now. And that is why I'd start him. Ange believes in him, right? I think Johnson lacks that self-belief, and I think he can feel that from the fans. I think he knows that a lot of fans don't believe in him. Tonight, again, is a good opportunity against lesser opposition, and we shouldn't be taking Coventry for granted. That's why I think you have to mix this team with experience and with young talent. Like I said, you've got Mikey Moore on the bench. You've got strong characters. You've got Romero. You've got Van der Ven there who you could play as well. You've got Sonny. You've got James Maddison. I think it's a really good opportunity for him to go out and just sort of quiet everybody down a little bit. Go and believe in yourself. And again, we've got the options on the bench to change it if he doesn't. You can move Odobert to the right. You can bring Kulusevski on. You can then bring Sonny on as well. Mikey Moore is obviously an option as well. He also said to sit down and write something abusive anonymously. Say it in front of me, you'll get a punch on the nose. You won't do it again. But they won't do that. That just sums up everything that comes with kind of these online trolls who, will say horrible things to players like Brennan Johnson. Personal things. They've got nothing to do with his footballing ability. Completely writing him off as a player when it does come when they're talking about his footballing ability. Look, is Brennan Johnson playing well enough right now to deserve to start for Tottenham? Probably not. Is that for a want of trying? Absolutely not. Is it down to a lack of self-belief? I think so. Is it down to the fact that he probably isn't the winger profile that we need right now to start games, to pin teams back, to take their man on? I'd say so. But that's not Brennan Johnson's fault. That's not Johnson's fault. And he does not deserve the pylon he's been getting. So I would start Johnson tonight to go and give him an opportunity to just prove some of those doubters wrong. Whether he is in the headspace to do that or not, I don't know. But I think he deserves that opportunity. And we can always change it. Does that mean that he should start at the weekend? No, I'd quite like to see Wilson Odobert start at the weekend, or Kulusevski start on the right-hand side at the weekend. Again, especially if Johnson doesn't perform tonight. But we don't need to be doing this to our own players. It's so counterproductive. If you want your players to come good, if you're annoyed that Brennan Johnson came for this massive price tag and feel that we could have spent it in other areas, that's fine. That's your beef. That's your prerogative. To an extent, I agree with you. We should have invested some of the money that we spent on Johnson or potentially other players into a top-class winger that's going to consistently take their man on and give the opposition something to think about. But that's not Brennan Johnson's fault, so get behind him. We saw this last season where Johnson went through a real tough patch of getting stick from our fans, getting abuse from certain content creators or people with a platform that then it snowballs and it snowballs and it snowballs. And people constantly digging him out for things that he can't necessarily change. Just get behind him. It's so counterproductive. If you want him to perform better, show him that. Show him a bit of love. Criticise, absolutely. And I'm going to come on and talk about Ange in a sec. You can criticise, absolutely. 100%. These players earn a lot of money and they come for big price tags and they're playing at the top level. They're not exempt from criticism. But just because they earn a lot of money, that doesn't mean that they should get the abuse that they get. It's so counterproductive, it's untrue. So I believe in Brennan Johnson. Do I think he's an amazing player? No. Do I think he's quite limited in certain aspects of his game? Yes. Do I think he lacks that self-belief to be right now a top player that we need? Potentially. But again, these are all things that can change. There is no point in writing him off. There is no point in writing him off whatsoever. So get behind him. Show him a bit of love. Anyway, let's talk about Ange. So yeah, that's the team I would go with. And again, you've got options on the bench to change it. I'd love to see Mikey Moore come on tonight at some point as well. He wasn't in the under-21 squad last night. So hopefully Mikey comes on and gets minutes. I think that's a very strong bench. So yeah, that is the team I'd go with. So Ange Postecoglou on Sunday came out and said, "I always win things in my second season," and he was laughed out the door, for that by some sections of our fan base, from rival fans. Do you realise what club you're at? Spurs don't win things, etc., etc., etc. Why do our fans not like the fact that our manager is believing in himself? Because yesterday, he didn't back down. He doubled down. And he said, "I just stated a fact. Why should I lie?" He was confused by the reaction. And I've been confused by the reaction, if I'm being honest. Look, call it what you want. Call me what you want. I would defend Ange a lot, right? Again, is he exempt from criticism? No way. Is there things that he can improve? Absolutely. Is it down to him as the manager? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's his responsibility to turn things around. But there was a great quote I saw from Pep Guardiola yesterday, from about 4 years ago, that said, I think it said, I can't actually find it. I saw it yesterday. But basically, he said that my job is to get you to the final third and your job is to finish. Spurs are clearly a well-coached team that have improved from last year in terms of the way that we play. But teams are sitting back against us now. They know the way we want to play. So we're going to have to adapt. And again, that comes with time. These things aren't going to change overnight. The results might change in the course of the next few games. We might go and win 3 in a row and go and beat Coventry, go and beat Brentford and go and beat Carabao. And that gives us a bit of momentum. That's all we need. Feels like we just need one result. We need a battering to get everybody kind of back on side again, to blow a team away, score early against Brentford on Saturday, score early against Coventry tonight. You know? But why shouldn't he believe in himself? I tweeted this out yesterday. And Harry Brooks said something similar, which I totally agree with him on. Where is it? Also, by the way, go and check out George Achilles' new video that I was in. He's even made me the star of the show on the thumbnail. Shout out George, absolute top guy. Where was it? So I said on Sunday, after he made those comments to the reporter that came across quite rude and came across quite sarcastic and defensive, I said, could Ange have handled this better? Maybe, but I think this snappy response comes largely as a result of the patronising tone in which his previous achievements are always referencing, almost like they don't matter. He has a track record of winning, and I think that's probably sick of being questioned. He's only human. Plus, respectfully, the journalist literally butted in 2 or 3 times when he was trying to answer the question, what do you expect? That's arguably as rude as what Ange was being made out to be. I then said yesterday, because Harry Brooks, who is just excellent, absolutely excellent, tweeted this out. He said, you know why people don't like Ange, the fact that Ange talks like this? It's because of their own insecurities. Again, the loser English mindset where people don't like the fact that someone can rise up and achieve. They don't like the fact that an Australian who's won in Oz, Japan, Scotland, could come here and be successful with his principles. Who does he think he is, coming to our Premier League and thinking he can win this way? Puffed, I could win those trophies. He types sitting furiously at his desk in a job that he hates because he was too scared to go for his dreams. That's what people are saying, even if they don't realise it. God forbid someone goes against the grain and proves it can work. Again, small-minded, narrow English mindset which hates success because they weren't brave enough to try and achieve their dreams of themselves, so they look to belittle others who do dream and become successful. I think Harry is spot on there. And again, I said it yesterday. God forbid the manager believes in themselves. There's this constant patronising undertone when it comes to talking about Postecoglou's achievements in the media, even if it's not direct in terms of the questioning. There is always this thing of, yeah, we ain't really done it here, mate. You're not going to do it at Spurs. Why can't he believe in himself? There are things that Postecoglou needs to change, and he needs to adapt in certain aspects of our play. Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. But do I genuinely believe that he will do that? Absolutely. I do. I do believe that because he wants to win. And if the results aren't there, he will change things. Again, I come back to the set pieces. I said this on the stream on Monday, or the video I did on Monday about the Arsenal game. Spurs' set piece defending has improved this season. It has. But you go and concede a goal like that from a corner, which is incredibly frustrating. Because and then it appears that you haven't learned anything. But that was down to an individual mistake rather than a collective inability to defend corners, in my opinion. The Villa fan there says, you reckon he gets sacked if he loses on Saturday? Absolutely not, mate. No way. And I don't think he should. I don't think he should at all. But why shouldn't he believe in himself? He said, this was an interesting quote. Look, and again, I think people are frustrated about the fact that Spurs haven't won a trophy in a long, long time. And Spurs fans are sick of being in rebuild after rebuild after rebuild, etc. But the last few managers that we've gone through haven't been rebuilds. They've been win-now managers. And we've tried to take a different approach to go and win things instantly. And that hasn't worked. Ange has won everywhere he's been. Just because it hasn't been in England, that doesn't matter. He said, when he was talking about Tottenham's track, basically, I think what I'm trying to say is that I feel like Ange is being blamed and having a lot of frustration aimed at him for things that he can't control and isn't responsible for. And that's not me saying he should be exempt from criticism in terms of the results, because he is responsible for that. Ultimately, the buck stops with the manager, right? But I do think the players have got to take more accountability. I think the players need to improve. I think the players need to believe in themselves a little bit more in certain situations. That confidence and that maturity will grow in time. I genuinely believe that. So he said about ending Tottenham's trophy drought. He isn't responsible for this drought, by the way. He's just the latest manager in a long line of managers that have come in at Tottenham and tried to do it and tried to win something. And we're just over a year into his reign. He said, you can try and ignore it, but it's a reality. It is what it is. It's a fact. So just face up to it. He said, I kind of flip it. As I keep saying to the players, what a great opportunity. Imagine you are the ones to do it. Imagine you are the ones to win something. I keep saying it was the biggest attraction to me coming here. I get it. It's the Premier League and everyone wants to be here. It's a big club and you do get well rewarded financially and talk to fantastic people like yourselves. All these kind of things are great attractions. But the one thing that ticked the biggest box for me, imagine I did win something. Imagine I was the manager to win something for Tottenham finally. Imagine it was in my second year. Imagine that happened. That's something I could reflect pretty fondly on. That's how I see it. I don't see it as a burden. I see it as an opportunity. And the players have got to see it that way as well. They've got to believe in themselves. That's what I keep saying to the players every day. Don't ignore it. See it as an opportunity to do something special. It's not easy. When you say these things and I put it out there, the reaction is, oh my God, what if it doesn't happen? Right? So he came out and said, I always win things. He's not saying that Spurs are definitely going to win something this year. He is saying that he believes in himself that he can deliver a good opportunity for Spurs to break that trophy drought. He is not saying, I am going to win a trophy this year for Tottenham. As much as we'd all love that, I would absolutely love that. The fans are desperate for that. And he might look stupid in May when we don't. But at least he's had the balls. At least he's taken the accountability to say that. You know, he will get questioned. He will get absolutely crucified by the media, by rival fans on social media, by our own fans, if we don't win something, because he's put that out there and said, I'm going to do it effectively, even though it's not what he said. But people will perceive it in that way. But too many managers sometimes skirt around things and players skirt around things and say, we want to do this, we want to do that, you know, we're going to try, we're going to dream. He is saying we're going to do it, and if we don't, it's my responsibility. He's taken accountability and held himself account to it. Those words will stay with him. They will stick with him. They might haunt him, but they might make him look like a genius. Tonight is massive because Spurs' record in cup competitions recently has been a disgrace, and the only League Cup game that Ange Postecoglou has managed was a one that we went out on penalties to Fulham last year, in which he changed the team loads, and he's going to do that again tonight. I don't think he'll do it to the same level, mind, because I think a lot of that last year was about giving players opportunities and a chance to put themselves in the shop window a few days before the transfer window finished. Now, he's using this as an opportunity for some players who are on the fringes, who are desperate to play, to go and prove themselves and show me why I should be in that team and create that healthy competition. It's not the same squad dynamic as it was last year. That's what's got to motivate us, he says. Be that one. Be the team to do it. Be the team to end the drought. I just think it's totally the right way to go. So, Sammy Mockbell in the Daily Mail wrote an article yesterday. I'm using an ad blocker, excuse me. Refresh the page. Okay. As Ange Postecoglou... Oh, right. Hold on a minute, lad. Sorry. Pause on this site. Right. As Ange Postecoglou feels the heat at Tottenham, Sammy Mockbell reveals what the dressing room mood is really like, what's changing to fix their big set-piece problem, and why 2 key summer transfers fell through. Apparently I've got to subscribe to keep reading. Brilliant. This is great, isn't it? But there were some quotes from it. This was the prelude. At his desk by 8 a.m. and one of the last to leave, Ange Postecoglou's days are long, but he wouldn't change it and isn't changing Ange Ball. He's told his players that too. A read on Tottenham's indifferent start and why Postecoglou is sticking to his guns. If you can read this, go and read it. But I've got some quotes from it here. Members from the Tottenham team believe that their performances have offered an improvement on their opening 4 matches of last season, which is what I said in this video. We have been better than we were in the first 4 games last season, in my opinion. And the eye test will tell you that. The results won't, and that's why people don't care. And I get that. I totally get that. Despite the contrast in points accumulated, Ange Postecoglou has also reiterated to his squad that they remain on the right path and to remain calm. There was a couple more as well here. There was one about Archie Gray. Archie Gray's arrival at Tottenham decelerated their push for a more established midfielder such as Conor Gallagher, and the club believed that this was the right call. I think Gray will play tonight, as we touched on it, and that Gray will vindicate the club taking that course of action rather than go and sign in another more proven midfielder. He's creating... I think Ange is trying to create this sort of siege mentality now, because he's being defensive in the press conferences. He is clearly trying to guide this young group and say, look, don't listen to the noise. Like he did with Johnson. Don't listen to the noise. We're on the right path. I can see some people here. I'll come to your comments in a sec, guys. Sorry. I think they are. I think we are on the right path. It's just about getting them to continue to believe in that and believe in themselves. It's not how the dressing room feels that could be the problem. It's how the boardroom feels. I don't think the boardroom are going to pull the trigger at all. Maybe if we go winless in the next 6 or 7 games, maybe, but certainly not if we lose tonight, which I think is inexcusable. You can't lose tonight. But that's not going to make me think that we should get Ange Postecoglou to be sacked. But I think it means that even more questions should be asked. Absolutely, you can't lose to Coventry in the League Cup and not be held accountable for that. Let's go to some comments here. Dwayne says we bought Johnson, Solanke, Richarlison for 175 million. That's shambolic. Again, I don't think you can put Solanke into that because he's played 2 games for us. The Villa fan says you can't buy Brennan Johnson and Dom Solanke for over 110 million combined. It's a bad negotiation. Look, these players could realise their potential in the next few years. We can't be talking about Solanke right now in terms of the price. I've had this conversation too many times. We're not going to know until the end of the season if it was a bad negotiation or not, right? So let's just calm down on that. The Duty says the hate for a positive focus within this fan base is unbelievable. I agree, mate. Ronnie says he said the players we are signing are the players that he wanted. So Werner 2 times. Look, I'm frustrated about Timo Werner. I am, right? I think I wasn't upset at all when we signed Timo Werner in January, and I actually think he was okay for us last season. Should we have signed him again this season? No, not in my opinion. I think we probably should have gone and signed someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi, or just given the opportunity for someone like Mikey Moore to be developed. But again, I trust in the plan they've got for someone like Mikey. So, and again, I do think we needed to sign a proper winger. I said that in the summer transfer window. I've been told by various people that I said that we had a brilliant window. I think we had a brilliant window in some aspects of it. I think individually all the players that we signed are great and have got great potential, and I like the profiles absolutely, and I love the fact that we've been able to get rid of the deadwood completely, basically, because we know that Werner's going to leave next season anyway. But I do think we are lacking in certain areas, and one of those is a proper 1v1 winger, and I think Werner is probably taking that place up in the squad. I'm not gonna sit here and just slag off the recruitment of someone like Dominic Solanke right now, because he's played 2 games and I think he's actually been pretty good in both of them, and I believe in Solanke. I believe in Solanke. I do really believe in Solanke. I don't really have any doubts about him. And look, I might be wrong, and I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. I'm happy to hold my hands up about certain players when I'm wrong, right? Or certain things that I've said when I'm wrong. But I do believe him. I do believe in where we're going. Someone said Levy's preparing his axe. I genuinely don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. I don't think he is. What is the point? Where do we go from here if we sack Postecoglou? Where do we go from here? Look, if we lose tonight, social media and podcasts and content and this, that and the other, it's going to be hell. It's going to be a cesspit. It absolutely is. And Ange is going to come under a lot of stick, and rightly so. Rightly so, because we can't afford to go out tonight. We need this win tonight. And that's why, like I said, I think you've got to give some players opportunities who are knocking on the door, but you've also got to mix that with first-team players, established first-team players. But let's just see what happens in the game. There's no point. The sky, someone just said there, Zapor said, the sky is always falling at Tottenham. Let's just see what happens after the game. What the F is Ange says, I understand you're much more positive than some of us, respect your view, but generally asking if he fails to adapt his tactics, do you honestly see him lasting longer than Christmas? I don't think it's about adapting his tactics, because one, I don't necessarily think he's going to do that, and I think it's just about the players believing in themselves more in the final third and trying to create different avenues to score. He's responsible for that. He's responsible for getting the team to the final third. When those players are in the final third, they've got to be better. They've got to be better. There are a lot of positive indicators at Tottenham that we are going in the right direction. It's just about that play in the final third. Set pieces, I don't think are as big an issue as last season, despite the fact that we've just conceded against Arsenal. They're clearly working to improve that. I think we will be fine. I do genuinely think we will be fine. Feel free to leave comments, debate me in the comments, absolutely 100%. And look, everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you want Ange Postecoglou to be sacked, that's absolutely fine. I get that. I don't agree with you. I don't think there was any point in that, and I still think we're going in the right direction. But let's just get through this game against Coventry tonight. If we lose tonight, it's not good. It's really, really not good. And we have to win. There is so much pressure on Tottenham to go and win this game tonight. And we've got to go and do it. But, yeah. J.R. John says, it's not fair on Ange. He doesn't deserve all this prior abuse because we haven't been bad by any stretch, but he has. So if we lost tonight, piled on top of all the slack, he's already got it. It's a disaster. Yeah, it is. It is a massive disaster. But like I said earlier, and I think you've sort of inferred it there, he's kind of almost getting blamed for things that he can't really control, and that frustration that is boiling over is being targeted him because of things that he can't control. And ultimately, he can't control results. There's not a magic wand to turn things around, right? But I do think it's just a matter of time before things click, and we come good. And if you don't think that, that's absolutely fine. And if you've given up on the project, that's your prerogative, and that's fine. But I haven't, and I won't until he gives me a reason not to. Do I think we'll win tonight? Yes, I think we do. I think we will. Do I think we'll win on Saturday against Brentford? Yes, I think we will. Does Ange Postecoglou need to get a better tune out of this team and get results to turn around? Yes, he does. But I believe that he will. And hopefully that starts tonight. So we'll see what happens. I will see you after the game on, like I said, go and follow me on TikTok on both accounts, both pages, Ben Bowman and then Ben Bowman THFC. I'll be doing my match review on here and my player ratings on this account. Obviously, a lot more Tottenham content. I'm going to be uploading more videos throughout the day. That's where you'll find me after the game. But tomorrow there will be a stream breaking it down from a more tactical, in-depth perspective, like we do after every game. And I hope you guys enjoy those. And look, we're not all going to agree, and I feel like it's been quite a healthy kind of debate between me and some of the people in the comments, etc. So I totally respect your opinion. If you're kind of a bit disillusioned about where we're going, but I genuinely think we'll be fine, and I think we'll win tonight. So let's see how we go. I hope you have a good day. I hope we win tonight, and I will see you after the game on TikTok, and I will see you on here after the game tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day, and up the Spurs. Nice one. I never know when it's done.